You didn't fall in love, your brain did, without asking you. Picture the exact moment you met them. You think you remember choosing to like them. The smile, the joke, the way they looked at you. But here's the uncomfortable truth a neuroscientist would tell you. By the time you consciously decided you liked them, your brain had already made the decision for you, days earlier, maybe years earlier. This isn't a metaphor, it's measurable. Researchers have scanned the brains of people in the early stages of romantic love and found something strange. Regions tied to instinct and craving were already firing before the person could even explain why they were drawn to someone. You didn't pick your type picked you using machinery you never got a vote on. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which forces are pulling the strings and why the person you love may be less the one and more the one your brain was already primed to want.
Here's the basic mechanism. Falling in love isn't one feeling. Biological anthropologist Helen Fisher, who spent decades studying this, described it as 3 separate brain systems: lust, romantic attraction, and long-term attachment, each running on its own chemical fuel. Think of it like 3 separate apps on your phone, each with its own battery, sometimes running together, sometimes not. Attraction alone lights up your brain's dopamine reward system, the same circuitry involved in craving a drug. In her 2005 fMRI study with colleagues Arthur Aaron and Lucy Brown, Fisher scanned people who described themselves as intensely in love and found major activity in the ventral tegmental area, a small midbrain region that manufactures dopamine and floods it through the brain. That's not romance. That's your brain's reward factory running at full output, whether you asked it to or not. So if it's chemical, what decides who gets to trigger it? The first hidden hand is pure exposure. Psychologist Robert Zajon showed decades ago that simply seeing something or someone repeatedly makes us like it more without us realizing why. It's called the mere exposure effect. That coworker you suddenly started noticing? You didn't fall for their personality out of nowhere. Your brain had been quietly logging their face for weeks, and familiarity itself was doing the persuading. The second hidden hand is even stranger, and it's not even conscious. In a well-known 1995 study, biologist Klaus Wedekind had women smell t-shirts worn by different men and rate which scents they found most attractive. Women consistently preferred the scent of men whose immune system genes were most different from their own, a subtle biological strategy for producing offspring with stronger immune defenses. Nobody told these women to think about immune compatibility, they just said a shirt smelled right. Your nose may be running a background calculation your conscious mind never sees. Now here's the twist, and it's the part that tends to unsettle people. Attachment researchers, building on the work of psychiatrist John Bowlby, have found that the emotional patterns we form with caregivers in early childhood, how consistently we were comforted, how safe or anxious we felt, get encoded as a template. And that template doesn't stay in childhood. It quietly steers who feels like home to us as adults. If chaos or emotional unavailability felt normal growing up, a partner who is a little inconsistent can feel confusingly more magnetic than someone stable, because familiar to a nervous system often gets mistaken for right. You're not choosing your type. In many cases, you're choosing whatever your nervous system already learned to call love. Put it together and the picture is almost mechanical. Repeated exposure primes your brain to like a face. Smell and biology quietly screen for genetic compatibility. Childhood attachment patterns decide which emotional dynamics feel magnetic versus alarming. And once enough of these signals line up, the dopamine reward system switches on, and your brain interprets that surge as fate, chemistry, a spark. The feeling of choosing someone comes last, after your brain has already done the choosing for you. So what do you actually do with this? Here's the practical part. Attachment researchers have found that these early patterns aren't fixed for life. Through what's sometimes called earned secure attachment, people can consciously rewire the template with awareness and often therapy or a genuinely stable relationship. The first step is simply noticing the pattern. Does someone feel exciting because they're truly good for you, or because they're replaying something painfully familiar? That single question, asked honestly, is one of the most useful tools psychology has ever handed us for choosing better partners.
Maybe that's the real reframe here. Love isn't less real because it's biological, but it stops being mysterious and starts being something you can actually understand and slowly, carefully influence. If this messed with your head a little, subscribe. We break down the hidden science behind human behavior every week. And I want to know, when you think back to your type, does it remind you more of who's good for you or who felt familiar growing up? Tell me in the comments.